Yo, what's going on guys? Tanmay here for Simple Snippets and welcome back to another pattern printing program tutorial. And in this video, we're gonna cover the triangle pattern 3 and triangle pattern 4. So if you've missed the previous video, we discussed pattern 1 and pattern 2. So these two patterns are done. If you have missed it, please check out the previous video. I'll drop the link in the video description or you can see a card. And in this video, we're gonna see pattern 3 and pattern 4. Now firstly, we'll understand and try to analyze this pattern, that is pattern 3 and pattern 4. Then we will dry run it to understand the for loops and the conditions inside the for loops. And lastly, we will also see the C++ program. So make sure you watch this video till the end. And if you're using any other general purpose programming language, this for loop will work over there as well. That is the conditions, only the syntax will change. So with that being said, let's get started. Okay, so before we individually cover triangle pattern 3 and pattern 4, if you just observe triangle pattern 3 and triangle pattern 1, they're pretty much similar, with the only difference that in triangle pattern 3, the spacing happens first, right? So if you assume this as the command prompt where your output is supposed to be shown, you can see first star is printed, then we have spaces, right? Then again 2 stars, then we have 3 spaces, 3 stars, 2 spaces, 4 star and 1 space. But in triangle pattern 3, if this is supposed to be your command prompt screen where your output is shown, first you have 4 spaces and then there is 1 star, then you have 3 spaces, then there is 2 star, then you have 2 spaces, then you have 1 space, right? So this is the only difference. Otherwise the triangle is pretty much the same, right? And when I say pretty much the same, the pattern progression is also the same, which means initially, that is at the first level, we have 1 star, then at the second level we have 2 stars, at 3 we have 3 stars, 4 we have 4 stars, and so on and so forth, right? So there is a lot of similarity between pattern 1 and pattern 3, with the only difference being the spacing. Similarly, comparing triangle pattern 2 and triangle pattern 4, again it is pretty much similar in the sense that the number of stars at first level are 5, then you have 4 stars, then you have 3 stars, then you have 2 stars, and then you have 1 star. But the only difference again over here is the spacing. That is, if you consider this as the command prompt, for the first line there is no space, for the second line there is 1 space, then you have 2 spaces, then you have 3 spaces, and lastly you have 4 spaces. But in the triangle pattern 4, if you consider this as your command prompt, initially again of course we don't have any space, but after that we have first 1 space and then 4 stars, then you have 2 spaces and then 3 stars, then you have 3 spaces and 2 stars, and lastly we have 4 spaces and 1 star. Okay, so that's the only difference, but otherwise the pattern is the same, right? It is still a triangle, just the spacing sequence is different. Okay, so I just want you guys to keep this in mind. And now let's start with triangle pattern 3 and see how you can get this pattern. A quick note, the for loops for pattern 1 and pattern 3 are pretty much the same with extra addition in pattern 3. Similarly, the for loop of pattern 2 and pattern 4 are again going to be exactly the same. That is the conditions inside 2 and 4. Just that there is a slight addition of one more loop inside pattern 4 and inside pattern 3. Okay, so you can see it on the screen itself. But to better understand this, as I have already said, that to understand pattern printing programs, the best way as a beginner is to dry run the for loops and then take a visual representation. So take your pencil and paper, because now we'll get into the dry running of pattern 3. Okay, so let's start off with triangle pattern 3. And as I mentioned, if you assume this as your command prompt screen, you can clearly see that initially we have some spaces. These are going to be 4 spaces and then 1 star. Then you have 3 spaces, then you have 2 spaces, then you have 1 space. Okay, and let's try to analyze this pattern first. So just by analyzing this, you can see that we have 5 levels: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When I say 5 levels, it means 5 lines basically. So the first observation that we do is we have 5 levels, so we want basically 5 iterations, right? So what is the second observation? The second observation is the rising number of characters, that is in this case it is star. So in the first level we have 1 star, then you have 2, then you have 3, dot dot dot, so on and so forth till the number of levels, that is 5, right? And the third observation that we can do over here is, just like the rising number of characters goes on, there is a decreasing number of spaces from the left hand side, right? Because when you print something on the command prompt, the printing happens from left to right. So for the first level or first line, you have 4 spaces and then 1 star, right? Then you have 3 spaces, then 2 stars, then you have 2 spaces, ... till we have 0 space. So for the last, you don't have any space because all the spaces are occupied by the stars. Okay, so these are the 3 observations that you can make by looking at this triangle pattern. So how do you go about printing this? Now for the first observation, that is 5 levels. So you know that you want to have 5 lines, and this obviously can change. Over here n is going to be equal to 5. When I say n is the number of lines that you want to print, and this can be taken from the user. So if you have 10 levels, then you'll have more stars over here, right? There would be 6 stars, 7 stars, 8 stars, and this will go on continuing. So n over here is currently 5. So you understand that we want a for loop which will run for 5 levels or 5 times, right? So first for loop obviously will run for 5 times and it will be responsible for these number of lines. Okay? Alright. Coming to the second observation, we want initially to have 1 star, then you want 2 stars, then you want 3 stars, then you want 4 stars, and lastly you want 5 stars. So 5 corresponds to the number of levels. So at the end, that is the last level, that is the last iteration, the number of stars is going to be equal to the number of level, right? In fact, at every iteration, the number of characters or number of stars is going to be equivalent to the number of level. So we will require one more for loop which would do this printing. That is printing the star and incrementing at every iteration. Correct? So printing the star for 1 time for the first level. Then for the second level, you have to print 2 stars. So inner for loop will run 2 times. Then for the third level, the inner for loop should run 3 times. And so on and so forth. So that is what is depicted in this code, and we will dry run this. I know it might not be very clear initially, but that's how the triangle is progressing. And lastly, the new observation that we are doing over here is we are also concerned with the spaces now, because we don't want to print this pattern. That is, this triangle is something where the spaces are not involved. On a command prompt, there are no spaces. But over here, we want to deliberately add spaces first and then a star. So we also have to consider the addition of spaces. So this is where one more for loop, extra for loop is required, which is there in this code. We will check this out in a minute, which will first print 4 spaces and then you will print a star. Okay. So how will that happen? So let's try to, dry run this for loop or this entire code and see how this pattern is generated over here in the output section. So starting off with dry running, when I say dry running, the basic idea of dry running is to, take all the variables in the for loops or in the entire code and tracking down the values step by step of those variables. So in our case, the first for loop has int I as the iterator. So let's write I over here. Okay. Then inside that we have one for loop, and the variable inside this for loop as the iterator is k. So let's write k over here. Okay. Then we have one more for loop which is j. So let's write j over here. And one last variable which is n, which is the number of lines that we want to print. N, which is standard or which is constant, is going to be 5 over here. We are assuming it 5. It can be anything. You can take it from the user. But just for this case, we are taking n as 5. So it will not change. Okay. Alright. So I, j and k values are going to change in this for loop as the for loops progress. So we will keep a track of it. And then we will also see the output. Alright. Okay. So let's see the first for loop. The first for loop is int I equals to 1, I less than equal to n, and I plus plus. So i's value will start from 1. Alright. So let me write I equals to 1. So why did we start from 1 to 5? Because reason number 1 is, of course, we want 5 iterations. That is 5 lines, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when you start from I equals to 1 and I less than n, what is the value of n over here? N is 5. So I will be less than 5. So I will go from 1 and we are saying I plus plus. So I will take 2 I will take the value of 3, I will take the value of 4, and I is still gonna be less than equal to 5, right? 4 is still less than equal to 5, and I will go till 5. And when I become 6, this for loop will stop working. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 iterations are happening. So that is what we want in the outer for loop. So usually when it comes to pattern printing programs, and especially with the triangle programs, the outer for loop deals with the number of lines that you want to be printed. Okay. The printing actually happens inside the inner for loops. Alright. Okay. So now that you know how the outer for loop is going to progress, let's go inside. So initially, of course, I is going to be 1. Now inside this, the first for loop, this is an extra for loop, and this you will not see in the previous tutorial. This you will only see in this pattern 3 and pattern 4. And as I mentioned, this is to deal with this extra spaces. So let me just erase everything out. So there are these extra spaces, right? So if this was the command prompt, so we have extra blank spaces on the left hand side of the pattern. So that is what we are wanting to print first, right? So this for loop is going to deal with that. So how does this for loop progress? So we'll say for int k equals to n minus 1. What is n? N is 5. So what would be 5 minus 1? It would be 4. So k will be 4. Now observing this pattern, when n is 5, for the first time, how many spaces do we require? We require 4 spaces. So now k has become 4. Okay. The condition is k has to be greater than 0. Is 4 greater than 0? Yes. And we are saying k minus minus. So this for loop will run for 4 times, right? It will go from 4 to 3 to 2 to 1. And when it becomes 0, this condition will become false. So 0 is not greater than 0. So then you'll exit outside this for loop. But till then, which means that this for loop will run 4 times. And inside this for loop, we have only one statement which says cout and a space. So this is a space that is getting printed. And this is getting printed 4 times, right? So you can see 4 blank spaces will be created. So on the output screen, for the first line, what do we have is, let me just draw output screen over here. So let's say this is the command prompt. So you'll get 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay. So you can see 4 spaces are printed, after which this for loop will exit. And then we will go to our another for loop, that is the third for loop, which is inside or which is after this for loop. Now this for loop is where the star is printed. So let's see the condition for this for loop. Now over here we'll again say int j equals to 1. So now j becomes 1. So why did we make j 1? Because we want to print 1 star for the first line, right? So in that case, the condition becomes j less than equal to I. What is I? I has taken the value of 1 for now. So we are still in the first iteration of the outer for loop, where I is still 1. So over here we will compare j less than equal to I. We just made j as 1. So is 1 less than equal to 1? Yes, it is equal to 1, right? So we will go inside this for loop and we will print a star. So now a star is going to be printed. Now this star of course can be any other character also, right? It can be 8, it can be 1, it can be any other character from your keyboard. So it's not necessary that it has to be star. Alright, but I hope you got how this for loop printed the star one time. Now, of course, we have only one statement inside this for loop. So we will again come at the start of the for loop and we will say j++. Now j will take the value of 2. So let's change the j value of and make it 2. So now j becomes 2. And now again the condition is going to be checked. What is the condition? J has to be less than or equal to I. J has become 2. I is still 1. You can see 1. We are tracking it over here. Is 2 less than or equal to 1? No. So now the condition will become false, right? So now this for loop will not be executed. So we will come at the end, that is the last statement of the outer for loop, that is the first for loop, and we will say cout endl. When we say cout endl, we will come to the next line on the command prompt. Okay. So you can see what just happened over here. We got the first line of our pattern. Now when we come at the end of the outer for loop, we will come at the start of the outer for loop, because this for loop will run for 5 times, right? So we have just done the first iteration. Now I will become plus plus, I will take the value of 2. So let's make I as 2. Okay, so I will become 2. The condition will be checked. Is 2 less than equal to n? Because this is the condition. N is gonna be having a fixed value of 5. Is 2 less than equal to 5? Yes. So we will go inside this outer for loop. And now we will again start with the execution of the content inside the outer for loop, right? So let's do that. Okay, so now inside the for loop, that is inside the outer for loop, the very first statement is another for loop which is dealing with the spaces. Over here we will again reinitialize k. We will say int k is equal to n minus 1. What is the value of n this time? N is obviously gonna be 5. It is not gonna change. But I has now changed to 2, right? I has become 2. You can see it over here. So 5 minus 2 this time is gonna be 3. So now k will become 3. So you can see we have 3 spaces for the second line. So k will start from 3. And of course k will become 3 and it will run from 3 to 0 because we are saying k minus minus and 3 has to be greater than 0. So it will take the value of 3. It will become k minus minus, it will become 2. Then k minus minus, it will become 1. And when it becomes 0, of course this condition will break. So this for loop is going to run for 3 times, and for 3 times it is simply going to print out 3 spaces saying cout and then this blank space. So for this for loop, the output is going to be 3 blank spaces, 1, 2 and 3. Alright. After this, of course, we will exit this for loop and we will move on to the next for loop, which is the third for loop, which is actually going to print the pattern or print the stars. Now this time we will again say int j equals to 1, of course, so j becomes 1. Now we will say j less than equal to I. What is the value of I this time? I has become 2. J is 1. Is 1 less than equal to 2? Yes. So you'll go inside. You'll say cout star. So first star is printed, right? Now after this statement, of course this is the last statement in this for loop. We will again come at the start of the for loop and we will say j plus plus. So j will become 2. So let's write 2 over here. Now again the condition is going to be checked. Is j still less than equal to I? J has become 2, right? And I is of course 2. So is 2 less than or equal to 2? Yes. 2 is equal to 2, right? So the condition is true. So we will again go inside this for loop and now again one more star is printed. So you can see what happened this time. This time j ran for 2 times taking the value of 1 and 2. Now at the end of this statement, again we will come at the start of the for loop. We will say j plus plus and j this time will become 3. Now the condition will become false because 3 is not less than equal to 2. So you will come outside this for loop and this is the last statement, that is cout endl for the outer for loop. So again you will come on the new line. Okay, so you're getting this pattern over here now, and I hope you've kind of understood the theme that is going on over here, the trend that is going on over here, and how the different conditions are linked to each other. So now I'm just gonna quickly explain what will happen next, because I'm assuming you guys have got an idea about it. You can also pause this video and dry run this entire code yourself step by step. But now what will happen is we will come at the start of the for loop. I will become 3 now. Right? 3 is still less than equal to 5. So we will go inside. Then we will see int k equals to n minus 1. N is 5 and I has become 3. So 5 minus 3 is 2. So k will become 2. And when k becomes 2, we will run k for 2 times from 2 and 1. And 2 spaces will be printed. So 1 and 2 spaces on this line. Then over here in this for loop, we will say j equals to 1. So we'll start from j equals to 1. J will take the value of 1 initially, and j has to be less than or equal to I. I has become 3. So j will run for 3 times now, from 1 to 2 to 3, and 3 times star will be printed. So 1, 2 and 3. Then we will come outside this for loop and I'll come on the new line. I will become 4, right? And 4 is still less than equal to 5. So we will again go inside the outer for loop. Here k will become 5 minus I. I has become 4, so k will become 1. So this for loop will run only one time because k will take the value of 1. and once it becomes 0, of course it will exit, so only one space will be printed now. After this we will come to the next for loop where j is 1, so j will again take the value of 1 and j has to be less than equal to I. What is I? I is 4 and we are saying j plus plus, so j will become 1, 2, 3 and 4, right? And once j becomes 5 we will exit because 5 will be not less than or equal to I, that is 4. So this for loop will run 4 times printing 4 stars, so 1, 2, 3 and 4. Then we will come outside this for loop, we will say cout endl, we will come on the new line, I will become 5, let's write 5 over here. Is 5 less than equal to n? Yes, n is 5 and I is 5, so both are equal, so this condition is still true. Now we will go inside this outer for loop, again k will become n minus I. What is n? N is 5. What is I? I is also 5. So 5 minus 5 is gonna be equal to 0, right? So our k value is gonna be 0. Now we'll check, is 0 greater than 0? No. So our condition becomes false itself because the condition is checked first, as our for loop is a entry controlled looping statement. I hope you know what is a entry controlled and exit controlled loop. For loop and while loop are entry controlled loop where the condition is checked first, and do while loop is exit controlled loop. So of course this entire for loop will not be executed at all, so no space will be printed. We will directly go to this for loop which will say j equals to 1, so j will take the value of 1, then it will go j plus plus and the condition is j has to be less than equal to I. What is value of I? It is 5. So j will take the values of 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, which means this for loop will run 5 times and inside this it will simply print 5 stars. So let's write 5 stars. Then we will come at the end of the for loop, we will say cout endl, we will go to the new line. Now I will become plus plus, I will become 6 and now the condition will become false. Is 6 less than equal to 5, that is less than equal to n? No. So now this entire for loop will break and we will come outside the program, and if you observe the output, we have pretty much got our triangle, and of course these dashes are nothing but spaces, so on the command prompt you'll only see this triangle and not those dash. Okay, and this is pretty similar to what we want over here. Okay, so this is pattern 3. I'm guessing you guys have understood this. If not, just pause this video and dry run this code. I'm pretty sure if you go step by step and track down all the proper variable values, you'll end up with this output itself. And I know this is a little tedious as a beginner, but this is how you actually first understand pattern printing programs, because as a beginner it's very difficult to directly jump to this code and get your pattern printing program correct in the very first run. In fact, even today I make mistakes with the first run. I usually get into an infinite loop or get some random pattern and I have to tweak these conditions. So it's a trial and error process, but once you get a hang of it, you'll get faster and better at it. So without wasting further time, let's see pattern 4. Okay, so pattern 4 is pretty much similar to pattern 2, just that we have again some spaces first and then actually the character is being printed, right? So observing this pattern 4, again we can observe that we have 5 levels, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So first observation is 5 levels, which means 5 times the outer loop is gonna run. Second observation is the number of stars start with the highest value of n, that is 5 stars, then we get 4 stars, then we get 3, then 2, then 1. So at every level 1 star is reduced, right? And the third observation is that after every level 1 space is also increasing. So starting with 0, the number of spaces increase to 1, 2, 3 and 4. So the stars will start with 5, they will go to 4, 3, 2 and 1. So you can see 3 things are happening, and hence we have 3 for loops because each for loop has its purpose. Tackling point number 1, we have the first for loop which will print the levels. For the spaces, that is the point number 3, we have this for loop, and for actually printing the pattern, printing the stars, we have this for loop. Okay, it's pretty similar to pattern 3, but here we go in a reverse way. for the outer for loop, we will start from 5 and we will go till 1 because we want to print 5 stars first, and we will take the use of this I variable. Okay, so if it's not understandable, let's again dry run this entire for loop code. We'll start with I value I, then we have k, we also have j, and we have n value as 5, which is fixed. So this n, as I mentioned, is something that you can take from the user, and that many number of levels will be printed and that many number of iterations will happen. Okay, here we are assuming it is 5. Alright, so starting off for this for loop, that is the outer for loop, we say I equals to n. So we don't say I equals to 1, we are not going from 1 to 5, we are going from 5 to 1 now. So I value becomes 5. And as I mentioned, the reason why we are going in a reverse way is because in the pattern, the first thing that we have to do is we have to print 5 stars and not 1 star. So we'll take the use of, or we'll take the help of this I being equal to 5. And you'll see that what happens inside the other for loops. Okay. Alright, so the condition is I has to be greater than or equal to 1. Of course, 5 is greater than 1. And we'll say I minus minus, which means that the outer for loop will run from 5. It will take the value as 4. It will take the value as 3. It will take the value of 2. And it will take the value of 1. Once it becomes 0, when I is equal to 0, is 0 greater than or equal to 1? No. Right? So it will exit the loop. That is, exit the outer loop. So we've determined that the outer for loop is going to run for 5 times. It is going to take the values of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so let's go inside for the first iteration when I is equal to 5. So inside this, the first for loop is used for adding the spaces. That is because first the spaces are going to be added, then the pattern is printed. Of course, for the first line, there is no space being added. For the second line, we have 1, then we have 2, then we have 3, and then we have 4. So how do we make this happen? So we say int k is equal to n minus 1. What is n? N is 5. What is I? We started with 5. So 5 minus 5 is 0. Let me use another color. So 5 minus 5 initially is going to be obviously 0. The condition here is k greater than 0. So k just took a value of 0. Is 0 greater than 0? No. This condition itself has become false. So the first time this for loop is not going to be executed only. So we'll completely skip this for loop and we'll go to the next for loop. So you can see no space is printed. So in the output screen, let me draw that output screen. So if this is your command prompt, this is your output screen. No space is printed at the start. So nothing is happening. We are at the first line, nothing is happening over here. So once we progress to the next for loop, we will say int j equals to I. So now j will equate to I. What is the value of I? I is 5. So j also becomes 5. Now we say j has to be greater than 0 and j minus minus. So j will take the value of 5. 5 is greater than 0, yes. Then j minus minus will happen. J will become 4. 4 is also greater than 0. Then again j minus minus. So 3, 2 and 1. So once j becomes 0, 0 is not greater than 0, then this for loop will exit. But you can see this for loop is now running for 5 times, taking the value of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And inside this for loop, we have nothing but the actual star printed. So as we saw that this for loop is going to run for 5 times. So 5 stars are going to be printed. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 stars are printed. And now I hope you understand why we started with I equals to 5. Because then we said j equals to I. So when I becomes 4, j will also become 4 over here, and then 4 stars will be printed. So that's how you link j and I together, and that's how the conditions are linked over here also. Even over here the change will happen where the number of spaces will slowly increase. And of course we'll see that how that happens. But after this for loop is done executing, we have 5 stars and we will come at cout endl and we'll come to the new line. Now I'm not going in through the individual steps of this for loop because I'm assuming you guys have got the idea. So when you come at the end of the last statement of the outer for loop, you'll again go to the start. I minus minus will happen. I was 5, so I will become 4. Is 4 greater than equal to 1? Yes. So again you'll go inside the for loop. That is inside the outer for loop. Now this time the first statement for the outer for loop is this one more for loop which says k equals to n minus 1. N of course is gonna be same, which is 5, But now the I value has become 4, right? You can see we've tracked over here, I has taken the value of 4. So 5 minus 4, now k will become 1. Now this k value corresponds to the spaces that we want. So when k is 1, 1 is greater than 0. So see out this space. So one space is going to be printed first. Then k minus minus, which means k will become 0. And of course 0 is not greater than 0, right? So this for loop will exit. So we have only one statement inside this for loop, which is cout. And when one space is printed, you'll exit from this and go to the next for loop. So you can see for the second level, we want only one space which is printed over here. And now we have progressed to the third for loop. Here we will say j equals to I. I has become 4. So j will also become 4. And now j will run from 4 to 3 to 2 to 1. Because j has to be greater than 0 and j minus minus. So initially j is 4. Then j minus minus, j will become 3. 3 is still greater than 0. Then j minus minus, j will become 2. 2 is still greater than 0. Then j minus minus, j will become 1. 1 is still greater than 0. Then j minus minus, j will become 0. So 0 is not greater than 0. So that time this for loop will exit. Which means this for loop will now run for 4 times and 4 stars will be printed. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. Alright, so you can see we are pretty much getting our pattern now. We'll come at the end, that is the last statement of the outer for loop. We will say cout endl. We will come to the next line. Now I will become 3 because we'll say I minus minus. So 3 is still greater than 1. Is 3 greater than equal to 1? Yes, that's the condition for the outer for loop. We will again go inside the outer for loop. Now the k will be n minus I. N is of course going to be 5 only. 5 minus I has become 3 this time. So 5 minus 3 is going to be 2. So is 2 greater than 0? Yes. And k minus minus. So 2 and 1, which means that this for loop is going to run for 2 times and 2 spaces will be printed. So let's print 2 spaces on the output. Then when k becomes 0, of course we will exit this for loop. We will go to the next for loop. Over here j equals to I. J will be equal to 3 because I is also 3. So 3, 2 and 1 because j has to be greater than 0 and j minus minus. So this for loop will run for 3 times. So this time 3 stars will be printed. So let's print 3 stars. 1, 2 and 3. Okay. So again we will come to the next line. I will become 2. 2 is still greater than 1, right? So again we will go inside the outer for loop. Then we will say int k equals to n minus 1. What is n? N is obviously 5. I has become 2. So k will become 3. So this for loop will go from 3 to 2 to 1. Which means it will run for 3 times and 3 spaces will be printed. So let's print 3 spaces. When I say print, it will be just added onto the command prompt. Obviously you will not be able to see. Those are blank spaces basically. After this we will go to the next for loop. We will say j equals to I. J will become 2 because I is also 2. So this will go from 2 to 1, which means it will go for or run for 2 times because j has to be greater than 0 and j minus minus. So 2 stars will be printed now. We will come outside and I'll come to the next line. And lastly I will become 1. This is the last round for the outer for loop. K will become 5 minus 1, which is 4. So 4 spaces will be printed. 1, 2, 3 and 4. We will exit the first for loop. Then we will go to the second for loop where j equals to I. J also becomes 1. So this time j will run only one time from 1 only. So it will take the value of 1 and 1 star will be printed. Then we will come on to the next line. I will become 0 and this condition will become false and you'll exit outside this outer for loop. And now if you observe, we've pretty much got our output. This is basically the triangle that we wanted, right? And these dashes are nothing but blank spaces onto the command prompt. So this is the triangle that we wanted. We've pretty much got the exact same result using this code. Okay, so this was the dry running part and the pseudocode or code. Basically this is C++ code, but this is pretty much the same code that you have to type in Java and C# with of course the subtle changes in the syntax. but otherwise this should get you the same pattern. Alright, let's switch to the coding part where we'll see pattern 3 and 4 together in the form of a C++ program. So I'm gonna switch to Dev C++ IDE where we'll run that code so that you can see live what is happening. Okay, so as you can see, I've opened up my Dev C++ IDE and I've already typed in the entire code because of course if we type from scratch it's just gonna waste time. And you can see I have created separate functions: void half pyramid pattern 1, pyramid pattern 2. This is something that we saw in the previous tutorial. If you scroll down, we have pyramid pattern 3 over here and pyramid pattern 4. So these are user defined functions that I've created. I'm assuming you guys already know how to create user defined functions. You already know C++ programming or any other general purpose programming language. If not, I have separate C++ programming, Java programming tutorial courses on this channel as well, so you can check that out. But coming to the main function, you can see we are asking the user to enter the number of levels. Okay, so in our dry running part, we were assuming the n as 5, so that was hard-coded value. But over here, we are taking the number of levels from the user. So we are saying cout enter the number of levels of pattern that you want. And we've declared an integer variable num. So we take that from the user saying c in num. And of course, then print out or call those pattern printing functions. So over here, we are interested in pattern 3 and 4, right? So pattern 3 is the same for loop. Okay, so we take the int n from the user. And then this is the exact code that we dry run for pattern 3. We also have half pyramid pattern 4. It's basically a simple triangle, also known as half pyramid. So for pattern 4, again, we are taking the n from the user, passing it as an argument. And then we have the same for loop for pattern 4. This is what we dry run actually on the digital blackboard. So yeah, I'll just save this and let's quickly execute, compile and run. It should work. Don't worry guys, I'm obviously going to be sharing this entire code with you on our official website, so you can check the video description if you want this entire code. If you're a beginner, please just type this code yourself. Even if you're just looking at it, don't just read it, just type it with your own hands. That's the best practice as a beginner. This is something that I always recommend. And yeah, our program is running perfectly fine. It is asking the number of levels. Let's enter 5. And when I hit enter, there you go, our two patterns are printed. This is pattern 3 and this is pattern 4. So what happens when we enter more number of levels? So let's again compile and run. Let's enter 10 levels. So when I hit enter, there you go, you can see a larger triangles are printed. So for pattern 3, we start from 1 star and we go till 10 stars. And similarly, the spaces are being added over here. For pattern 4, again, we'll start from 10 stars and go till 1 star. Along with that, spaces is added on the left hand side. So this spacing being added on the left hand side was the reason where we required this extra for loop. You know, this is that extra for loop which adds that space first onto the command prompt over here, and then you print the star. So if I just remove this for loop, comment it out, and if I just comment the pattern 3 for loop which is adding that extra space, and if I save and compile and run, and now if I enter 5, you can see that this is pattern 1 and this is pattern 2, right? So pattern 3 and pattern 4 are nothing but exactly same as pattern 1 and pattern 2 respectively, just with extra added code or extra for loop just for that spacing. Okay, so again, as I mentioned, I've shared the code with you. You guys can play around with that code, check it out yourself, run it on your system, type it out yourself, and that should definitely give you more confidence. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap this video over here. I know this was a little lengthy, but the dry running process is important, at least as a beginner for the first time, and slowly you'll get a hang of it. In further videos, we'll see more patterns, more complicated patterns, try to dry run them, try to code them, and that's how you understand pattern printing programs. Okay, hope you like this video. If you understood this entire process, please like this video. Let me know in the comments how this video was. Do share it with your friends, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.